If this video is a little bit rambly, you'll have to forgive me of that. I don't really have a great plan as to where this video is going to go, the twists and the turns that this video may take. This is sort of just a topic that I've been thinking about a lot for a long time now, and we're going to kind of explore it here. I say we, you'll just be listening. I'll be the one talking. You can comment down below, though. Surface Duo has a lot of problems, right? We've talked about this. Duo is not a device that is without issues, but one of the biggest issues that it still has, because a lot of its issues have been pretty well fixed at this point, is just public perception. And some of this stuff comes from Microsoft's behavior. Some of this comes from human nature. First, I want to talk about Microsoft's behavior because it leaves a lot to be desired. There is a thread on Reddit. There's actually been, this thread has kind of been duplicated multiple times where people have been asking, why does the Game Pass application, which allows you to stream games to your Surface Duo, and you can actually do it in such a way that your controls are on one screen and the game is on the other, why is that now no longer the case? Why did they update it? And they seemingly took away our Surface Duo custom controls on their Game Pass app. It's very strange. If you span the app now and go to load up a game, the game will be in the middle with the hinge right in the middle of it, and black bars on the top and bottom, and your controls are on top of the game, like it thinks it's a normal phone. Luckily, there's a real easy fix for this. If I remember to do this, I'll put a card here or a link in the description of how to roll back to a prior version, and everything works fine from there. This was an accident by Microsoft. Apparently, there was a bug in this app, this update that got pushed out, and it's broken. They've pulled the update, they're going to fix it, and roll it out again. Okay. Not a huge deal, right? But then there's other things, though. And there's no communication on this, first off. They have an app, and they have their own phone, and they roll out an update of their app on their phone, which has custom behavior for it. It's like a selling point of the phone, and they break that behavior. How does no one notice that? How does that not get tested? How does that not get spotted before this app rolls out? That's a problem. There's no communication. People think, oh, here we go. They're abandoning Duo. They don't even put out a tweet. Hey, yeah, we're aware. I tweeted at them, got no response. You know, all they have to do is just say, yeah, sorry, we're aware, we pulled the update, there's no communication at all. Let's look at Surface Duo in terms of the launcher. Custom icons, custom layouts in terms of columns and rows. All of these things are possible on Microsoft Launcher on other phones. If I installed Microsoft Launcher on my Z Fold 4, I would have access to these features on Duo and Duo 2. I do not. It would be very simple for Microsoft to simply put out a statement that says, we think Duo works best like this, like it is. We think that the visual style is most consistent and coherent as it is. These are our reasonings. We want to have visual control of this device. We understand that some of you want more customization, but this is what we're doing. We want to have this visual control. Just tell us, so that we're not week after week after week. I can't tell you how many comments I get on this. When are we going to get custom icons? When are we going to? I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to get them. And how hard would it be for Microsoft to just communicate this to us, to just tell us it's not going to happen? Sorry. Where was Android 11 for all those months before it finally did launch? There was no communication. Android 12L is hopefully going to be hitting in the next 19, 20 days. There has been no communication. These things allow doubt to creep into people's minds. Duo, sold out all over the world at times. Microsoft, no communication. Windows Central, Daniel Rubino had to actually reach out to them and say, where is Surface Duo 2? For them to actually take, 5-6 days to give them an answer? Why not just communicate? You're allowing doubt to slip into people's minds. People start thinking this device has been forgotten. It's been left by the wayside, despite the fact that we can look at their update history and see, look, they're updating it. This is Duo 2. It's gotten an update every month that it's been out, and that's great. It's great to see. But these other things Negatives are always louder than positives, right? You know, like one bad thing needs like 4 good things to get that bad thing out of your mind. This is just how people work. So the public perception of Duo being not well supported, it's partially on Microsoft because they aren't talking about it enough. They're not being proactive enough. They need a Surface Duo czar, someone on social media who's just controlling this to some degree and is doing public outreach. That would be really, really cool to see. It's something Microsoft is never going to do, but I would love to see more communication. Now, there's another side of this public perception of Duo that is strictly human nature. And I can sort of reference this via something I just tweeted. I actually was going to make this video already, and then this comment got left on a video. And I thought, well, this is just perfect. I'll talk about it here as well. So let's go to this here, and I'll pull it up. This person commented on a video about Surface Duo, or Duo 2 to be specific. They said, quote, "I cannot see anyone except a tiny fringe group of people having interest in this product. It's an absurdly useless and comical form factor as a phone, and its purpose for existence is highly questionable." You can pause there and see my comment, but we're not going to dig into that specifically. Now, before you say to yourself, or to me, or to the void that is your phone in front of you, that's just some guy, some commenter on YouTube. It's not just some guy. I get this comment a lot. And it basically boils down to this. I can't imagine why anyone would want Surface Duo, therefore it's useless. I don't want this phone, therefore no one wants this phone, right? And it's not just some random commenter. I get lots of these comments over the last couple of years. I've got it many times. I've seen paid reviewers, people who work for big publications, writing things in their Surface Duo review. Something I'm going to paraphrase, but this is like so close to a direct quote of a review. I wish I could find it. I didn't take the time to go look for it before this because, again, I didn't really plan for this video all that well. But it was something to the effect of, there are no good use cases for Surface Duo. Just an absurd level of stupidity in a comment. This is a stupid comment. It just is. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean or rude, but it's a dumb comment, and it betrays the lack of critical thinking that some people have when it comes to, scarily enough, a lot of things. For those of you that do not know, I am on the autism spectrum, okay? In years gone by, when this was still part of the DSM-5, I would have probably been diagnosed with Asperger's. Now that term has gone away because Nazis and so forth. So now they call it, there's a spectrum, so they just call it ASD level 1, 2, and 3. And I would be considered level 1, which would be what Asperger's would have been before. Okay, so we won't get into too deeply what exactly that means or what my life is like. But one of the things that it's kind of going away, there was this perception for a long time that people on the autism spectrum suffered from a lack of theory of mind. If you don't know, theory of mind is the idea that I can understand that my thoughts exist only inside my cranium, and that inside your cranium are your thoughts, and you have your own perspectives, opinions, wants, needs, feelings, okay? I have a theory of your mind. I understand that you're a separate entity. Children, like 1-year-olds, don't have theory of mind. They don't understand that, like, I can see something, so everyone can see it in the room. And it's like, well, no, they're actually blocked by the couch. They can't see it. A toddler doesn't understand this, okay? This was a long-held thing that people in the autism spectrum suffered from poor theory of mind. Newer research is indicating that that's not actually true, that it's just that we empathize and show these sorts of things in maybe different ways. I do not struggle with theory of mind issues so far as I've ever seen. But when I read these things, it makes me wonder how much of the general population actually does suffer from poor theory of mind, because it really does come down to, I don't want this, therefore no one does. And that is a very frustrating thing for me to read because it's really, really stupid. Your opinions, your wants and needs do not emanate outside your skull. It stays in here, and it has nothing to do with what I want or need. And the fact that you're not creative enough to think of a reason why somebody might want 2 screens on their phone, that you can't just come up with any. I mean, I could sit here and rattle off 50 different use cases for Surface Duo. I've done this before. There are a million things. It's like a dual monitor computer. Right now on my dual monitor PC, I'm filming here. I've got some stuff I pull up here to reference here. I've got my file that I'm saving to here. It's the same thing as this, except it's on your phone. There's a million things you can do with dual screen, and your inability to just have enough creativity to think of some of these examples has no bearing on reality. And furthermore, your lack of interest in dual screen on your mobile device has no bearing on what I want or what I need in a mobile phone. But enough people I've seen, not just random commenters, but also actually writers on major publications, seem to suffer from this problem. They look at Surface Duo, they pick it up and they look at it, and then they look at a normal phone like this and they go, these two are totally different. I can't imagine why anybody would want this thing because it's so different. And then they throw it in the garbage can. And that's the end of their thought on this process. They don't think it through. Maybe they can't think it through. And at the end of the day, that human nature problem is a big problem for Microsoft because they have to overcome that. They have to overcome the fact that everyone knows how to use this. This is standard. Everyone understands this. There's nothing to explain here. When Google launches the Pixel 7, there's no work that has to be done to explain, like, this is a phone and it's a slab and you can touch it and do things. With Duo, Microsoft literally has all that work in front of them to explain to you why you would want two screens. And for people that don't understand or don't get it, they're butting into a brick wall and they're never going to get through it. And that's just par for the course. They're trying to do something different. Human nature is bad about not letting that be popular, not letting that happen. Now, I do also want to add one more layer to this last part. And this is something that's interesting, and it comes from a Twitter user on this thread, actually. Roddy Merritt said, people don't know how to speak. Most probably means something different than what they say, but speaking in absolutes is what's being forced into our brains. And this is very, very true. We live in a world of social media now where speaking, for one thing, we have character limits sometimes, and on top of that, we have character limits in terms of people's ability to maintain attention. So we have to say things very quickly, very bluntly, and there's no room for nuance. So people just say things that maybe isn't exactly what they mean. Now, on my side of things, if I can take some ownership of this, I have a very hard time reading between those lines. If you say Surface Duo is useless, I'm going to take you to mean what you said. I'm not going to look for some hidden meaning underneath those words, where actually what you meant was, I wouldn't want to use Surface Duo because it's not very useful to me. No, you wrote it's useless. That's how I'm going to take it. So perhaps that's a problem that I struggle with that maybe not everyone does. And that is important to keep in mind. So guys, I think that's about as far as I'm going to go with this. Like I said, public perception in two different directions. I would love to know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Please have a discussion down there. And, keep it as kind as possible. I know that I called this comment stupid, but I didn't call the commenter stupid. I did not call the reviewer that was mentioning stupid. Sometimes smart people say stupid things. Sometimes they don't think things through. Sometimes they've never been triggered to think something through in that regard. And maybe you can say something to them and their brain, the gears begin to lock in place in a different way. And they go, oh, my Lord, I see the error of my ways now, and I will think about this with a new level of depth. You've changed my life. Perhaps that could happen for more people because of this video and the comments down below. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more content that probably won't look very much like this. But at any rate, I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.